Today, I'm going to tell you a story in clear, easy English. We will be working at level C2, Advanced. Turn on the subtitles to see the translation in your own language.
Today, we journey into the life of a man who seemed to live in multiple dimensions at once. A musician, an actor, a cultural provocateur, and a visionary who reinvented himself with unmatched audacity. This is the story of David Bowie. Born David Robert Jones, a boy from South London who transformed popular music, challenged societal norms, and left a legacy that continues to shape culture long after his passing. Childhood and early influences. David Robert Jones was born on January 8, 1947 in Brixton, a diverse and sometimes turbulent district of London. His family lived modestly. His father, Hayward John Jones, worked for a children's charity while his mother, Margaret Peggy Burns, was a waitress. They provided stability, but Bowie's imagination quickly outgrew the boundaries of ordinary life. When he was 6, the family moved to the suburban neighborhood of Bromley, where David encountered a world that felt both comfortable and confining. He wasn't a rebellious child, but he was deeply curious. He enjoyed literature, art, and the new rhythms of American music drifting across the Atlantic, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, and the power of performers like Little Richard and Elvis Presley. A pivotal moment in Bowie's early life came at age 15 during a schoolyard fight. A friend accidentally struck him in the eye, damaging the muscles that controlled his pupil. The injury left him with his famous mismatched gaze, one eye appearing blue, the other darkly dilated. But the real transformation was internal. David Jones began to understand that identity itself could be fluid, something to shape, adjust, or completely reinvent. This idea would define his entire career. By his mid-teens, he had taken up the saxophone, formed his first bands, and immersed himself in music. He admired not only musicians, but also actors, dancers, and avant-garde performers. He was searching for something bigger, a mode of expression that didn't yet exist, when he discovered that another performer, Davy Jones of the Monkees, had already changed his name. He changed it. He became David Bowie, a name he chose because the Bowie knife symbolized sharpness and the American frontier spirit, rise to stardom and musical evolution. Bowie's early career in the 1960s was not an immediate success. He recorded singles, joined short-lived bands, and explored styles from mod rock to folk to experimental pop. But his breakthrough arrived in 1969 with Space Oddity. The song introduced listeners to Major Tom, a fictional astronaut drifting away from Earth. With its haunting melody and poetic lyrics, the track became Bowie's first major hit. As the 1970s began, Bowie entered his most transformative period. He embraced theatricality not as decoration, but as an essential part of his artistic experience. His persona evolved relentlessly, shedding old skins to reveal new creatures beneath. The most famous of these was Ziggy Stardust, introduced in 1972, with the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Ziggy was flamboyant, electric, and strange, an alien messenger who blurred the lines between genders, cultures, and genres. Just as Ziggy reached peak popularity, Bowie abruptly ended the character during a live performance. He refused to be confined, even by his greatest success. Next came the Thin White Duke, an elegant but emotionally detached figure who emerged during the mid-1970s and the album Station to Station. Bowie was struggling personally, but his creativity remained fearless. In the late 1970s, he entered his Berlin trilogy, Low, Heroes, and Lodger, created with Brian Eno. These albums fused electronic music, ambient textures, and rock. This era produced the iconic anthem Heroes, which captured resilience, hope, and defiance. The 1980s brought polished pop brilliance with Let's Dance, producing Modern Love, China Girl, and the title track. Bowie adapted to each decade without losing his identity. His later albums, including Heathen and Reality, explored themes of mortality and memory, and then came his final masterpiece. Acting career. Bowie was not only a musician, he was also an accomplished actor, eager to explore characters beyond music. His film debut came in The Man Who Fell to Earth in 1976, where he played Thomas Jerome Newton, an alien trapped on Earth. Critics praised his vulnerability and uncanny authenticity. In the late 1980s, he expanded his acting range with roles in The Hunger, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and the beloved fantasy film Labyrinth, where he portrayed Jareth, the Goblin King, an unforgettable theatrical presence. Bowie also performed on stage in The Elephant Man, portraying Joseph Merrick with no prosthetics, relying entirely on physical expression and emotional depth. Social activism and cultural influence. David Bowie's influence extended far beyond art. He was an advocate for self-expression, equality, and the freedom to break boundaries. He challenged gender norms long before such conversations were common. His image, fluid, theatrical, and ambiguous, gave young people permission to express themselves authentically. He spoke openly about identity, mental health, and liberation. And in 1983, he famously confronted MTV about its lack of black artists, pushing the network to reevaluate its practices. Bowie supported humanitarian causes, joined benefit concerts, and collaborated across cultures. He believed creativity was a universal language. His secret fight with cancer and final legacy. In 2013, Bowie surprised the world with The Next Day, his first album in a decade. Fans celebrated, but privately, he was facing something far more difficult. In 2014, he was diagnosed with liver cancer. Very few people knew. Bowie insisted on continuing to create. The result was Black Star, released on January 8, 2016, his 69th birthday. The album is haunting, symbolic, and deeply introspective. It serves as his final farewell. 2 days later, on January 10, 2016, David Bowie died. The world was stunned. Bowie had seemed eternal, an artist always one step ahead of time. Cities lit landmarks in his honor. Musicians held tributes. Fans gathered in Brixton, Berlin, New York, and around the world. Conclusion: David Bowie's story is not only the biography of a musician. It is the story of a creative force who dismantled boundaries between genres, between stage and reality, and between the selves we show and the selves we hide. From a curious boy in Bromley to a global icon, Bowie reminds us that identity is a canvas we can repaint as often as we dare. Although he is no longer with us, his influence endures in every artist who experiments fearlessly and in every person who chooses self-expression over conformity. Bowie once said, "I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring." He kept that promise. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Until next time, take care and learn something new every day.